Hi, my name is Joseph Parker, WBO champion of the world, and you're watching Sporting Icons.
Okay, so I hope you're all doing fantastic. Now, Derek Chisora has said he ain't going to retire and he's looking to be back in action in the summer. In fact, he said, F retirement, see you all in the summer, biatches. Now, is that surprising to anybody? No, I wouldn't have thought so. Derek Chisora will keep on going until he can't go no more. Why not? Why not? He's getting a lot of attention and he's making a lot of money and he's doing what he loves to do, which is have a fight. Now, I understand some people will say maybe he should retire. Some people will be legitimately about his own health. Other people will just say it just for the sake of saying it, just to sound good. But I think that Derek Chisora should retire whenever he wants to retire, whenever his body is telling him to retire. Now, I understand some fighters need saving for themselves. Of course they do. Of course they do. But yes, Derek Chisora, he does take some punishment, but he does give out punishment as well. It's not like Derek Chisora goes in there and finds himself knocked smooth out each and every fight. I mean, this doesn't happen. I mean, people say that Derek Chisora should retire. Again, of course I understand that. But at the same time, what about journeymen? They make a living out of just getting beaten up. And yet these guys have hundreds of fights, right? But, of course, not at the elite end. Derek Chisora, will he ever become a world champion? No, I wouldn't have thought so. But at the same time, he's always going to give somebody problems. For me, Derek Chisora is the marker of whether or not you're going to be an elite fighter or not. If you fight a Derek Chisora and beat a Derek Chisora, then for me, you move yourself into the bracket of world title contender. If you can't beat a Chisora, then you're kind of there or thereabouts European level. I mean, for me, I think Chisora is way above European level, just to be clear. But he is a gatekeeper for the elite. He's not a gatekeeper for British level, no. He's a gatekeeper for the elite. But as I said before, I think Derek Chisora will just retire when he wants to retire. Okay? Because as I said before, it's not like he just goes in there and gets beat up each and every fight. No. That's not what happens. I mean, he does take punishment, but he gives out punishment as well. He's not just doing numerous rounds and just on the end of a devastating beatdown and getting knocked out cold. People may say that miles on the clock, especially the Joseph Parker fight last time out, sure, he is getting miles on the clock, but he's had miles on the clock to the point where he's like an old car now. Okay, a few more makes no difference now, I think, at this point. But I think that going forward, what kind of fights can we see Derek Chisora in? I don't think we're going to see him at a British level or a European level. I mean, we might see him at European level. I mean, maybe he'd like to get that belt back. But I think that Derek Chisora will probably look at the other guys who want to be at the elite level. That's what he'll look at. Those who already consider themselves to be at the elite level. For me, I'd love to see Deontay Wilder versus Derek Chisora. I really would. Because at least then, if Deontay Wilder defeats Derek Chisora, then yes, we can say Wilder is in that bracket. Because we don't know if he's in that bracket. We don't know. I know people want to give Wilder a huge amount of props, and of course I understand it. But he hasn't beaten anybody. And that's the point. You can say Luis Ortiz. For me, Luis Ortiz, Derek Chisora wipes the floor with Luis Ortiz. Again, great fight. I'd love to see that fight. I'd love to see Derek Chisora and Luis Ortiz. Maybe I'm wrong on my evaluation of that fight. Maybe I'm wrong, and I'm okay to be wrong on that. But I honestly feel that Derek Chisora would mop him up. I really do. An interesting fight would be Andy Ruiz Jr. and Derek Chisora. That'd be a very interesting one. These guys will probably just trade, in all honesty. But fights that I think that he would definitely win are not the kind of fights that Derek Chisora wants. For me, I think that he would definitely beat a Luis Ortiz. So therefore, would he want that fight? Probably not. I think that he would 100% really, or not, or 99.9% defeat a Chris Arreola. Would he want that fight? Probably not. I think that he would destroy a Zhilei Zhang. In fact, that's probably a good opponent for him, really. If he just wants to get a win, I think a Zhilei Zhang who would give Chisora a few rounds, but ultimately end up fatiguing, and Derek Chisora will just break him down and stop him. Put that fight on in China. I'm hearing that Eddie Hearn, DAZN, Matchroom want to go to China. That's where Derek Chisora will make a whole heap of money. The Asian market for combat sports is phenomenal, especially in Japan and in China, especially China with a heavyweight. Of course, Zhilei Zhang is a silver medalist at the Olympic Games. So that'd be very interesting. And for me, I mean, say what division, I don't want to say guaranteed victory. Of course not. Nothing's ever guaranteed in life. But I would favour Derek Chisora to beat Zhang quite favourably, and why not do that and earn a whole ton of money and do it in China? Why not? If not, well, let's see what Filip Hrgović is about. Let's see what a Tony Yoka is about. Let's see what Joe Joyce is about. Daniel Dubois. But of course, there's always going to be the boxing politics, the wrong side of the street kind of stuff. I think Derek Chisora, he's not signed to Matchroom, but he's happened to fight on Matchroom shows, or at least he has been. But if an offer comes through, well, why not? I mean, we know Tony Yoka's going to be fighting Martin Piccoli. Maybe Derek Chisora can fight a winner of that one. Would he go over to PBC? Maybe, I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, I don't think the PBC fighters will come over to the UK. I don't think they'll fight on a DAZN platform. Well, I say they won't. Like the PBC will convince them not to. So I wouldn't expect Wilder to do it. I wouldn't expect Andy Ruiz Jr. or anyone to do it. But, I mean, you never know. I suppose money talks. And the PBC seem to be struggling for a bit of money, which is why they're putting some complete garbage on pay-per-view each and every time that they announce a fight. Because they're pretty strapped for cash. It's their way of saying to the boxer, well, if you want this amount of money, we'll stick you on pay-per-view. If you're of that kind of value, then you'll get that money. If you're not, if the pay-per-view flops, well, you don't get as much money. See, it's a safety net. Anyway, that aside, Derek Chisora not retiring, ain't nobody going to be surprised. Nobody can be surprised about that. But Derek Chisora is just a war horse, isn't he? He is. He really is. But as I said before, I do understand those who say he should retire, as long as it comes from a good place of genuine concern for Derek Chisora. But I think a lot of people will just be looking at Eddie Hearn saying, Eddie Hearn, you shouldn't be putting him on the show. How dare you? He's absolutely disgusting. He's just squeezing him out. He should be banned and reprimanded. The board shouldn't give him a license and all this kind of stuff. I mean, people will just say that just because they don't like Eddie Hearn. Ultimately, it's not up to Eddie Hearn, is it? If the board are allowing Derek Chisora to fight, if he's passing the medicals, then what's Eddie Hearn going to do? No, sorry, not coming to my show. Fine, no worries, I'll go to Frank Warren. And Frank Warren get all the views and make the money then. I mean, that's how it is, isn't it? It's not the brutal truth. Anyway, my thoughts, you drop me yours on Derek Chisora. Should Derek Chisora continue? And if he does, well, he will, who is it that you'd like to see him fight? Do you want him to go down a couple of levels, get a couple of wins, and then give it another crack? Or do you think that he should just continue being the measuring stick for those who want to move into the bracket of the elite? My thoughts, you drop me yours, click thumbs up. And of course, make sure you are subscribed. And I wish each and every one of you a very, very happy Christmas. And of course, Happy New Year. Yes, I'm going to be doing plenty more videos between now and then anyway. But just in case some of you don't really get the opportunity to watch too much on YouTube, because obviously you'll be very, very busy with your family. So Happy New Year to you all and Happy Christmas. Drop your thoughts below, click thumbs up, subscribe. Catch you all in the new